Hashem Adonenu, Oy Ma'adir Shimcha, B'chol ha'aretz Adir Adirenu. Hashem Adonenu, Oy Ma'adir Shimcha, B'chol ha'aretz Adir Adirenu. Hashem Adonenu, Oy Ma'adir Shimcha, B'chol ha'aretz Adir Adirenu. Hashem Adonenu, Oy Ma'adir Shimcha, B'chol ha'aretz. V'hoya Hashem Hashem L'melech, Akol Akol ha'aretz. V'yoymahu, Oy v'yoymahu Yiyeh Hashem Echad.
Massoud. So, 13 years ago, I was in the middle of taking a test in Brooklyn, New York, in Yeshiva, and I got a call or a text, I think it was a call, that my sister Deborah Orlea had a baby boy after 2 weeks overdue. I gave my test to the teacher before I even had a chance to write the first answer. And I said, here you go, in the middle of the test, I dropped the test, and I ran out of the building to, rejoice. My name is Daniel Massoud. I was the only Massoud named after my grandfather, of blessed memory. And thanks to Yosef, he continued the trend, and it's been passed down from one grandchild to great-grandchild to another great-grandchild. Thank God. May it be a blessing for our whole family. We're going to start tonight's the 8th night of Hanukkah, the completion of all 8 days. We're going to ask Rabbi Wagshul, the father, teacher at Hillel, and the youth leader at this synagogue over here, and the director of Kesher Hebrew School, to invite the great-grandmothers to the lighting of the menorah. Please give your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very fortunate that tonight, for our son Yosef's bar mitzvah, we have a very special opportunity to begin with a mitzvah, the mitzvah of lighting the Hanukkah candles. And it's a very special opportunity for us, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the speeches. But right now, we'd like to call upon the bar mitzvah bacher, who's going to light the menorah for us and make the brachos, as lighting in Shol, Pasum, and Nisa. And we're also going to begin with something very special, very unique. Yosef is blessed to have with him here today, to celebrate with us, 3 great grandmothers, 3 matriarchs in our family that, the middle candle, the shamash we call it, stands taller than all the other candles. It's not part of the count, but it is the candle that serves to kindle, to ignite all of the other candles. And the funny thing about a candle is that if you light a candle with one candle, you don't lose anything from your original flame. Your flame will still be as bright, if not brighter than before. And in our family, we're blessed with the dedication of so many grandparents and great-grandparents, in particular, my grandmother, Mrs. Eileen Wagshul, who's here from Edison, New Jersey. We'd like to call you up. We'd like to call on Yosef's great-grandmother, Mrs. Helen Elulian, the wife of Massoud Elulian, who is Yosef Massoud's namesake. Please help Mama Helen come up. And we would like to call on Mrs. Pari Aminzadeh, the great-grandmother of Yosef Massoud as well. And I say to you, to our great-grandmothers here tonight, thank you very much for your selfless years of dedication and love that you poured in to your families. And Hashem should bless you with strength and nachas for many years to come. And Mitzvah Hashem, we should see you very soon by Yosef's chuppah and all the chuppahs of everyone else in the family. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with one, lighting it and passing one to the other, and literally passing the torch of the generations to Yosef, and then Yosef will stand on this chair, make the blessings, and kindle the menorah.
we're going to get them.
Thank you, Rabbi Reva. The words of holy rabbis and holy people are eternal, are forever. We have the opportunity tonight to have the letter of the Lubavitcher Rebbe that was sent to every single bar mitzvah boy at their bar mitzvah. We're going to ask the uncle of the bar mitzvah boy, Rabbi Levi Lillian, rabbi at the One Left Synagogue, and the director of Camp One Left, Camp Gem, to please read the Rebbe's letter. Please rise out of respect of the letter.
Shalom Abracha v'mayne al ha'edah Aderech ha'chassos v'giv mitzvahs Yinei yiratzim Hashem yisbarech Hashem ben shalish Esher v'mitzvahs Yigad ben chomesh Esher v'chubi Kipsak ha'mishnah Avles perek hei Yosef ha'smoda v'shkida b'nemuda b'teira B'teret ha'nigla v'chein b'teret ha'chasidus V'yahada b'kiyum ha'mitzvahs Hashem yisbarech Hatzlicha liyes chasid Yirei shemayim v'lamdam v'vracha v'rebes chasid. In English, it's a blessing from the Rebbe.
Greetings and blessings. In response to the notification about your entry into the age of Mitzvah, may it be God's will that from 13, the age at which one is obliged to observe the Mitzvahs, you will grow up to 15, the age for the study of Gemara, and so on, as determined by the Mishnah in Avos chapter 5. May you increase your persistent diligence in your study of the Torah, both in Nigla, the revealed plane of the Torah, and in the teachings of Chassidus. And may you perform the mitzvahs with loving attention. And may God grant you success in your efforts to become a Chassid, a God-fearing Jew, and a Torah scholar. With blessings, the Rebbe's signature.
Thank you, Rabbi Wagshul. We're going to ask the great uncle of the bar mitzvah boy, Mr. David Elulian, to come forward to bless the bar mitzvah boy on behalf of the Elulian dynasty, the Elulian family.
Thank you. Yosef Massoud, congratulations, Mazal Tov. You're indeed an incredible grandson or great-grandson of my father, Massoud. You're so handsome also, and I know that in all the exams that you take, you always become number one, which has made me very proud. He does the Maimonides test, which is 613 commandments, and he's been number one for 3 to 4 years in a row. Right? I'm not very familiar with it, but I know that he's done that. Herzl, Rachel, you guys are so blessed, because I don't think anybody in this room has the wonderful children and grandchildren that you guys have. So brother, wherever you are, where are you? Rabbi, your wealth is the number of children and grandchildren and B'ezrat Hashem, their children, because nobody in the Persian community and in the American will ever get you that respect, and that is true wealth. That is true wealth. Nothing, no amount of money, nothing can beat that love that you will have with your beautiful wife Rachel. You're a biblical couple, And then you have Deborah and Abraham, who again are exemplary. Deborah has done things for this family that are miracles. Miracles for my mother, for all of us, the gatherings, the movie productions that are amazing. So God bless you all. Massoud, you're blessed, and may God always guide you and bless you even more. Amen. Thank you.
For the most important part of tonight, Yosef has prepared for a year with his father 3 parshas. His Parsha Bob yesterday over here in front of 1,000 people. He read 3 different Torahs by himself, beautifully, loud and clear, like a real pro. He said a speech, an intense speech yesterday as well, twice. And now he's going to review by heart, memory, a Hasidic discourse in Yiddish for everybody. This was actually said by all the Rebbes, the past few Rebbes, and Yosef will say it again by heart and memory in Yiddish. We ask all the uncles from all the sides to come forward to sing the nigun that prefaces the mimer. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be about 6 minutes of quiet, please. 6 minutes to 9 minutes. He's a reader minor beautifully. He worked 1 year to learn this. Please give him about maximum 9 minutes of your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, also look at the screen. We're sorry, there may be some things in the way. Usually when the mimer is recited at the bar mitzvah, some of you may be familiar, it's recited in Hebrew and Yiddish, which might not be the language of everyone. So Yosef and I prepared a little slideshow to help follow along with the main ideas of the Ma'amar. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the Ma'amar.
At the minor, all the holy Rebbes are invited to come, so this is really an opportunity to be here and to be part of it and show our respect. Ready?
Isa, maar de Shindim, maar die daar Eimer, Amazon, dat spreekt voor je bij de Shindim, weet je dat ik wat twee hebben willen, about 1 uur vandaag. In den Sommer zu nehmen stehen, die bei der Schule, wir fühlen haben und bei Tag und Nacht, aber wir haben nicht keine Zeit. Andere versprechen keiner mit das Ziel, aber einer, der lächeln, die Ilo, die gehen, mit Teuer, die Eimer und die Lala. Sagt ihr, ich hätte Ihnen sagen, kein mit das Ziel, weil ich achten, und was häufig mit Teuer, bei Tag und bei Nacht. Ist der Geist nicht verstanden, was ist denn für mit das Ziel, was war Tag und bei Teuer, und was für Schaffen sind 10 Jahre, und viel und mit Teuer, und sie treten. Naar de ene neer, ze steekt daar, maar die bedacht dus wat is zo. Zo'n de mensen heeft de liefst, ze met haar geen was is de deze. En wel kan de sparken, maar als je ooit zegt, anders zo, laat ze schreeuwen, maar ik bedacht voor de spatten. En ze gaan in de rest aan de toon, en toen hebben we de eerste was er alleen tot, zo'n de in de tuin. En steek, maar die wel ja, kan zo'n spatten. Zij zijn wel goed gespatten, was er alleen tot, zo'n de in de tuin. Und im Schaffen war schon jetzt, weil es gäbe, so ich schon toll mit, so es kommt auch als das Hüfte, das Internet, zu der Mitte sagt, ich gäbe so eben schon so auf die Mitte. Kommt auch als das Dürfte, das Internet in Fühlen, sagt, ich gäbe so, soll ich so sein, wenn ich echt höre. Die Hühner haben gesagt, Fühlen, bei Jungen magst du in der Höhe, und Mika, ich so, der von Arzt, in dem ewischen Stil steht ihm alles breathe, and as again, aber jetzt kommt doch Eis. Und ich habe es Eden, als ik was morgen met echt veel in, waren Eden, Yosef. Claire versteht in Medien, er steht da, verschiet van mijn grote schmijn, waarin is aan de stroom. Er steht da, Rama Kodaima Maya, so wie es bei euch ist bei Reimam, der Heimen von Welt, und mit Zahnarzt Messias, und Chatesse war dich vorbei. Rob was je echt van Mathasse Loi, im Zedakta, maakt dit een jaar, en mami, dat ga je kan. En alle mannen bij ze hele dag hebben, zijn een koele kamekel, mamisch geschieden. Und wie ich stehe, Kindes mich schon alle Wadai, als je mij is de Wadai, het gaat goed dan, dan was heute 7 Uhr schmei, is örtliche Meier. Das ist was steht, als was Spörfel Elo, das mir, wenn ich alles schon habe, wenn ich sage, alle zu beginnen von Atzmeus, und der mal seinen Anweis nicht heute ist machen. Und wir haben von der Anweis in eine schöne Kuvioche. Als sei wie ein Mensch, was straft, wenn er sagt, und es dann nicht von der Knie, und zu sein Marco Bescheid. Das ist ein Gott, das ist ein Und das Beleit People ist der Kirchhatin, der Verstandskampf. Und das ist Beleit an Leute. Und der Fall steht, weil ich es genau schon bei ihr, und steht, überall noch was ich schon dabei habe. Es sagen, ich gehe jetzt 10 Marken, und ich gehe von der Katze, und ich gehe von der Zmusse, und ich gehe von der Katze. Und es sagen, ja, ich kann es mehr sagen, wie es sein. Und das ist durch. Und dann schaffen wir ein Parameters. Das ist was ist. Stay up in my head, keep my culture and smile. But should I show mine? It's going to go to the collection to mine. You stay, I put some in the pool of mine. Because that's key of the kids of God. It's demo, but down works on the job. I took it to the kid alone, they are myself. Because then very foundation part of the cushion. But the acre is not begins by entire, but turns by us, these scouts. Das ist was der Person sagt, mit der Schmerz, Maß, mein Kind, das ist das Makaya mit ihr. Als dürfte beginnen und zu machen, das ist mit dem Teuer, sind sich bei dem inneren Gewerbe wie innerhalb was guckt durch ein Kind verlassen ist. Sind die Sache gestern besser wie andere, also ein Euro und das Schauer beginnt das Teuer, sind sich und sagen, kein Teuer von der ewige beginnt Stelle für die Tür. Und das sind die Karte, die ich gehört, das andere Menschen echt nachher, die da zu schauen, das kann werden, ich zu weihen, echt in der Zeit Teuer. Und wir waren es das versteht für meine Saal. Ein paar im Schatten kommen zu erinnern, und im Schatten kommen nicht glücklich in das Mann. Und seine Mucke seine Kochbeine und Unterschied. Und Fabian ist ein das Mann euch mitgewinnt. Leute, die man meint, die man meint. Das Teuer ist heftig im Wert. Und die Scheiße, danke von Elweis, und ich habe nicht wieder, und wie steht. Scheiße, haben Wasser, steht in die Scheiße, wenn die Scheiße jammer sein, dass die Scheiße das Geil ist. Und Scheiße jammer Wasser mehr, also Scheiße das sein, dass nicht nur für euch in den Kindern von Asia. Das ist was der Anfang was Summer's Inspiration ist, und das ist Barisches. Und im Schaff von Barisches ist, all der, steht ein Kassier Bonner, dass es dann sein, dass wir Barisches, ein Barisches, sagt es der Sohn, sagen, was ist das für diese Kasse? Es sagt die Videos aus einem coolen Jahren. Und der zweite Barisches, an der Tag, bei der Kasse, das ist Barisches, genau wie noch mit das. Du sagst, Zahn, Marker, alles bejaht, wir werden sie ja. Aber die Teuer können wir einladen, der Rest sind noch danach, als Teuer in die Kochen, wir können es machen, seine ganzen Geschenksjungs. Und euch werden in die Zahl zu Bämmen spielen, sagen, war sich, wir können sitzen bei sich und schaffen das Gott. Anders sind aber wir beginnen, lassen wir das. Und dann machst du mir zu Kasse. Und euch werden in die Zahl zu Bämmen spielen, sagen, Teuer Kasse. Wir wollen die ganze Miete, aber das ist was ein ganz wichtiger Weg. Also, wir können für die Bayern Brahma Vino, wir hören jetzt, dass wir alle gehen, ist das ein Gesetz und das ist alles. Die werden ja, wir sind eigentlich schon mit der Hoffnung zu sein, das Spiel sein Kasse. Für Honor Makabel verletzt sich in der Brüder im ganzen Kummer Spiel. Und der wird, wenn man verstehen, weil er was versteht, sich vorher kann einfach, dass der von Kimi Eiland nehmen, als wir gehen und wir nachher Massoud, wenn wir eine Scheibe zu Eiland und wie euch bin direkt von der Meinung hier an die Ölkasse in ihr Banne. Ich bin heute getagt und Tag, weil wir können es vergessen, wo alles alles. Danke noch mit der Kasse, warum wir Welcome to our Chesed. Und das ist, was der Eitz Chaim hat getan. We should all love our Tzad and Portion Nathan who grew up. Und Tzad, der war toll hated. Geen als een Spaß en Chesed. Was een Spaß en Chesed en Chesed. Je begreep Tzad waaien. Met begin uit meigen is met hem zo'n gebeurde beste eiland. En de grootste die was al zag. In was al de barbaar was bij een gooi lang bij. In de gachmaas, de voetnauwe daas. En in het zeeveert zie je steek. Je schleusjes voor je groeien. Die zeeveert. Und es dreht sich im Ammerschaft, denn er Sefer mit der Welt ist Lachma. Ein Sefer an der Welt ist Bino, aber Sefer, was schaut der Sefer? Und das Segen, das was bei den Jacamidas und das Neubeginn des Meichen ist. Nicht Meichen Herzen, aber er leistet mich auch ein Nachriss. Wir setzen Meichen Herzen, der Pfarrer ist auf einen Scheller Kamatöre. Das ist ein Lechma, Lachma, Lechma, Bina. Die Kinder von Meichen und seine Hände benennen, was ist Midas. Und das ist ein paar Jahre für Maschen der Lechma. Wir sagen, nicht kein Zeit. Sagt zu sehen, der Ewigste, kein mit das Zwillen, über eine Lehre, die Ilu, hat eine Gima, Teil, und mit Walter, das ist eine Magic, also kann sprechen, wenn ich echt will. Der Pierce, wenn ich kann sprechen, wenn ich echt will, ist so, wie hat sie los. So, was hat sie los? So, jetzt kann ich schon noch ein Stück Feuer, das ist mein Wunsch, wenn ich mich von dem Leila, als kann ich es ja immer merken, das ist Leila. Und im Scherz für die Woche haben wir gesagt, kann ich mich schon wieder aufschauen, weil ich mir gewusst, das ist top. Und dann haben wir gesagt, Baruch, ich habe mal gewusst, das ist Nacht. Op de ene van de gesprek van echt veel in die zo gaf van bij de meetings. Dat is mee, beginnen spreken met harten, want de liefde en dat kan dan nog eens niet. We beschrijven dus maken we heel mooi. En dit is nou weer eiland. En dat is eigenlijk man, nee, ik had en ik iemand twee jaar met eiland. En begin als eiland zullen maken.
Beautiful. Beautiful, wow.
For those who don't know, that this young bar mitzvah boy said this discourse like 15 pages by heart, word by word, in Yiddish, Hebrew and Yiddish. 15 pages, word by heart. Unbelievable. Chazak Baruch. Go ahead.
Yosef Massoud will cut the challah, and the caterer will pass around challah. We wash. It's a Seudas mitzvah. It's a mitzvah meal tonight. And I would like to call upon my dear father-in-law, the rabbi and shliach, many of the Persian community here in Los Angeles for many years. And of course, his main claim to fame in our family is raising a wonderful mother to Yosef Massoud, a wonderful wife, and the pillar of the community, the Baralea, and she gets it all from the beautiful examples from her father and mother who raised her. Thank you so much. Rabbi Alulian, please honor us. Come to share a couple of words with your first grandson who's having a bar mitzvah tonight. Toda rabah. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you enjoy the food and please give your full attention to Rabbi Alulian.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
L'chaim. With your permission, children, grandchildren, and kids. L'chaim again, Mazel Tov. Thank you everybody for coming. L'chaim. Since today, there was Baruch Hashem, my daughter and son-in-law worked so hard to prepare this beautiful holy event, and God should bless them always without needing anybody's favors except God Almighty, to have abundance like tonight in every step of their life forever and ever, till marrying all the kids. Gesundheit, Freudigkeit, toch Archava, Menuchas HaNefesh, I want to thank all the honorable rabbis here, distinguished people, Rebbetzins, friends and family from far, from close, the grandfather of the bar mitzvah boy who came from all the way from New York, the grandmother, the great-grandmother, etc. Tonight, it's a big milestone for my family. And I'll say something from the Talmud, which is interesting. In the Gemara Sanhedrin, hold on a second. In the Talmud, kids want to play outside. Kids want to play, talk outside. All the kids outside. In the Talmud, Gemara Sanhedrin, page 94, bet, it says that King Chizkiah was a king of Jewish people. The Talmud says God wanted to make him the Mashiach. This is close to 2,000 years ago. King Chizkiah, God wanted to make him Mashiach. But then the negative angels said, no, Chizkiah cannot be Mashiach. Why, says the Gemara? Because God saved his life. He was supposed to die. He had a terminal ill. This is a good message for everybody. You can take it home with your Persian Khoresh. Listen. Listen and eat the Khoresh, please. He said he wanted to be Mashiach, Messiah. God said no. The angel said no. Why? Because when God saved his life from complete death, he was supposed to die, God made him a miracle and he had no hope. He thought he's going to die for sure. He was so sick, his moments were counted. All the doctors said, Chizkiah, the king, will die, has no hope to live. He prayed and he prayed. God saved his life. Then Sancherib, an enemy nation, attacked the Jews and Israel, and again, miraculously, King Hezekiah survived and the Jews won. The enemies were defeated. Because of these two great miracles, the angel said he cannot be Mashiach. And he could have been Mashiach. Why he did not deserve to be Mashiach? Because he did not praise the Lord, did not thank Hashem. Didn't say, thank you God, you saved my life. Didn't say, thank you God, I was almost dying, you resuscitated me, you saved my life. Didn't say, thank you God, you defeated our enemies. Because of this reason, he could not be Mashiach. Why I'm saying this story tonight? Because the Lubavitcher Rebbe says, if you say the miracles that God makes to you, especially on Chanukah, God hastens the coming of Mashiach. Each one of us in his life sees miracles, small or big. Rabbi Shmukler was here, he said something interesting tonight to me. These Chanukah candles is a miracle that one candle stood for 8 days, the oil, that's why we celebrate 8 days of miracle. I was a little kid in Milan, in Italy. And if it was not for Rabbi Lazar and some Chabad rabbi in the streets in Milano, and here we have Hanali Beraichik, I was going in the bus with her in Milan, Italy to school, we're kids. She's my witness. If it was not one nice Rabbi Chabad in Milano, would not that ignited my light, my Chanukah candle in Milan 45 years ago, I would be an Italian Jewish boy lost in the streets in Italy. But thanks to one light, one chesed, one good you do, look, thank God, Bri'anara, Baruch Hashem, from one light, so many children, grandchildren, family, all of you here tonight, thank for one person did a favor to me. So I am really humbled by the blessing of God that I reached this milestone, that I have merited my first grandchild from my daughter, God bless her. He's a boy, he's a bar mitzvah today, he's 13. How many of our society today will have grandchildren or great-grandchildren? Unfortunately, we live in a world that people decide to marry at 40, 45 years old. If they marry, then when marry, they have to make sure for 5 years is the right match. By the time they want to have babies, it's too late. If they have the baby, in whichever way they get it, is that baby going to ever have a grandpa, grandma? Hardly today. So we're really blessed to be here tonight. And I have to say thank you God, thank you Hashem, for this incredible bracha and blessing. I don't think I merit so much bracha. Thank you Hashem. The message for all of us tonight, of course my wife, I want to say chazak to the three great grandmothers, Mrs. Wagshul from New York, my mother-in-law, Mama Pari, Amin Zadeh, and my mother, Mama Helen, and my dear brother, esteemed, revered brother, which is here with me, Baruch Hashem, with his son, Kia, my nephew, and Ezra Ilumian, and Kathy, and everybody in the family, and all the other, Dr. Joseph, what is Joseph and Nazi? The Amin company, Dr. Amin. So, what's the message tonight, so you go here with something? The message is, do not take for granted what God gives you. Be thankful. That's why Jews are called Yehudim, from Yehuda Maccabi. The Jew won the war. The Jews called Yehudim from the word Todah, Hoda'ah, Modani, thankful. The greatest thing a Jew should have is the nature of appreciation and gratitude to God, to family, and what we have. So I hope this bar mitzvah boy, Massoud, you have my father's name. And before you were born, when I came from Italy, I went to the Lubavitcher Rebbe to say, Rebbe, I have my parents are not Ashkenazi, it was Sephardi. Listen, Massoud. I asked the Rebbe, please give me a Hebrew name for my parents. So he said, and I wrote to the Rebbe my father's name, my brother's name, my sister, and my mother. So the Rebbe looked, I said, what's your father's name? Massoud. Massoud? Massoud is a very holy Jewish name. The Rebbe said, don't change your father's name. Massoud comes from the word Saad, means helped by God. Massoud. Then I said, okay, what about my mother, Helen? The Rebbe said, your mother's name also has Jewish ramification. In the Talmud, there was a queen by the name of Hilni Amalka. Make your name of mother Hilni, and because Ilunia and Leah. So the Rebbe put my mother's name, Hilni Leah. Then I said, bless my brother. It's 120 years. What's your brother's name, the Rebbe said? I said, his name in Farsi is Khosro. The Rebbe said, his name should be Isa, means Caesar, you're a Caesar. And my sister, Shanaz, I said, give me a Hebrew name for my sister. The Rebbe said, Shanaz is Shoshana. So I got holy names for all my family 45 years ago from the Rebbe. So Massoud, so my father was very happy and joyous and kind person. It's very important to do the way you did, study the Torah so diligently that you said the Maimar that the rabbis can't say it, the way you said 15 pages by heart without hicking one time. You did an incredible job. Shabbat, this boy read 3 separate Torah all by himself. 3 Torah, the whole parasha. And by himself. Today in my synagogue he read all the Torah, God bless him. Today. But you know who gets the applause? My daughter Tolelea here and her husband Rabbi Wagshul. Really, I want you to know, I never argue with my children. My daughter is the oldest. She's holy. She's a little prophetess. The only fight I have with her is, listen, you have 100 kids in the house in a 2-bedroom closet. I don't know how you fit. How every Friday night, everybody that is ejected and rejected from any home, nobody wants them. Every Meshuggah in town Friday night, or anybody alone, anybody lonely, whoever has nobody, her house is open to anybody every Friday night. This is how generous this girl is. I thought Rabbi Raichik was like that, but God bless, but now I have a daughter, Roseanne is with her the same way. So this is her, and she does the mikveh for the ladies. She does day and night. She should take care more of her children, but she cares for everybody and her children. So this is a mother of Massoud, and my son-in-law, nothing less. By the way, I was the matchmaker. They didn't pay me my Shatchonis geld, but you still owe me money, I give you such a gift. Anyway.
We paid you 7 Shatchonis geld so far.
Anyway, my son-in-law, he's a teacher in Hillel. Then he has a Hebrew school for public school. Then he has the youth program here in this school, in this synagogue. And then he teaches Tanya in my synagogue. He never rests. These people are super souls, super neshamot, doing good for the community. May God bless you to have nachat from all your children. Easy, no complication, never, and we're all here. And also I want to say thank you to Simon Catering, Simon Catering. Come. Simon is a par excellence, glad kosher, Lubavitch Shchita, Chabad, Kronheims. Nicest person, thank you Simon. Now, I pass the microphone to the baby father, give you a kiss, Hashem bless you. Thank you, God. Thank you everybody for joining and pleasing us to come. Chazak.
This is the Simon caterer I announced before. Not just a caterer, but a father. Thank you. Thank you. For all the late night party planning sessions. Toda rabah. We'd like now to call upon my dear father, Dr. Wagshul from New York. Also, I have to give a shameless plug over here because it's really the Rebbe's in Yanim. the author of translations of the Likutei Torah of the Alter Rebbe, available in book form and online at likuteitorah.com with 2 Ks. And if you want to study the teachings of the Alter Rebbe in English, you can see them there. And we ask my father to please bless the bar mitzvah boy, his grandson, as he taught me when I was bar mitzvah. I was zocha to now teach my son. Thank you to you, Tati, and my mother. My dear mother was here as well. Thank you for raising us and teaching us, and so that we're able to pass on the beautiful values that you have given to our children. Thank you, Mami and Tati. My father will say a few words.
I was glad to hear that the caterer is a father to you. And I, for my part, Remmel, will try to be a caterer too. Good evening, everyone. A Freilich and Hanukkah. Mazel tov to the whole family. I want to start by particularly thanking my dear friend from Yeshiva, who we grew up and our kids married one another, Rabbi Herzl Lulian, because while he was speaking, I was timing him, and I'm going to follow his lead. Remmel told me, Rabbi Wagshul told me, Tati, you have to keep it to 6 minutes. I won't tell you how long Rabbi Lulian spoke for, but it was more than 6 minutes. So thank you very much. I will be relieved to follow your lead. Anyway, Mazel tov to Yosef Massoud, my dear grandson, and my son, Rabbi Wagshul, my daughter-in-law, Leah, my wife, Leah, and the entire family. My mother is here, Mrs. Wagshul, from Edison, New Jersey. And I am wearing my father's tie because he unfortunately is not able to be here. He passed away, but he's here in spirit. And Mazel tov as well, as I said, Rabbi Lulia, Mrs. Lulia, the whole family. As everyone knows, at 13, a boy begins to undertake the practice of mitzvahs for real. Everyone starts out practicing mitzvahs when they are little. We make brachas, we kiss the mezuzah. But at 13, the game begins in earnest. This is the real thing. How do we know that this happens at the age of 13? What's the source for this practice? The Lubavitcher Rebbe speaks about this in a sikha, a talk that he delivered, and I will try to summarize it for you. And he makes the point, what is the attitude that a person should have, that a boy should have when he undertakes the mitzvahs? When you start a new undertaking, you need to know, how do I approach this? What should my attitude be? So, this is the question. Everybody knows the famous Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, which says, Ben Shlosh Esrei L'Mitzvahs. A 13-year-old, 13 is the age of mitzvahs, but how does the Mishnah know that? There must be a source in the Bible telling us that a 13-year-old is obligated in mitzvahs, that that's the age. And the reason is, the Rebbe explains in this sikha, because there is a verse in the Torah that says, Ish oy isha ki yasu mikol chatois ha'adam. When if a man or a woman commits any of the sins that a person might commit, God forbid, and then the verse goes on to say that they have to make it right. They are liable for what they did. Point is that a child isn't responsible for his or her actions. A little kid who transgresses doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. But by using the verse in the Bible, Ish, when a man transgresses, they have to make it right. It indicates that when a person has achieved the level at which they are no longer a child, they know the difference between right and wrong. And it can make a difference to them. They take it to heart. Because a 6-year-old also knows, don't steal. Instead, you should share. But the 6-year-old could look both ways, make sure nobody's watching, and take it anyway because he wants it. It hasn't sunk in, even though he knows it. But there's a point when a person achieves the level of intellectual maturity that he takes it to heart. It sinks in. He internalizes the idea between right and wrong, and it motivates him. He cares about it. And this is the age at which a person is responsible for his actions. This is one verse in the Torah which uses the word when a man or woman. In Hebrew, it's the word ish. Now, there are different principles for interpreting the Bible, and one of them says that we can match up similar words. So, using that technique, we match the word ish with another verse. We just read it a couple of weeks ago in the Torah, and it says about the two sons of Yaakov, Shimon and Levi, Vayikfu Shnei bnei Yaakov, Shimon and Levi, Achedina, Ish Charbay, that the two of the sons of Yaakov, Shimon and Levi, each man took his sword and they went to avenge their sister upon the town of Shechem. So we use that same word, ish, and as I said, by the principle of biblical interpretation of matching similar terms, we learn that we link those two words with that other verse that talks about ish in connection with obligation to mitzvahs. What does that have to do with a bar mitzvah? Because the Midrash tells us that Shimon and Levi were 13 years old at the time that verse was talking about, when they went to Shechem to avenge their sister. They were 13 years old, and yet we see that the verse describes them by the term ish, man, which the other verse uses the term to indicate the age of obligation for mitzvahs. So this is the source in the Bible from which we know that a 13-year-old is obligated to observe the mitzvahs and responsible for his actions. The Rebbe says in his Sikha, there's something puzzling about this. And the puzzling thing about it is that the Rebbes of Chabad, the Lubavitcher Rebbeim, at the occasion of a bar mitzvah, they would often deliver a Hasidic discourse, a mimer, and they would introduce it by quoting the verse, God said, when he made man, let us make man in our image. And that is in Hebrew, Naaseh Adam, let us make man. But it uses the term Adam instead of Ish, for man. In English too, we have many different ways to express the same idea. I could say man, but I could also say a person, an individual, a human being. You know, I'm from Brooklyn, so I'll just poke a little fun at Californians and say a dude, right? We can say many different ways to express the same thing. The difference is that in English it doesn't usually matter which word you use. It doesn't matter. But in Hebrew every word is precise. And therefore the word ish and the word adam, even though they both mean man, they have different connotations. The word ish represents, as I said before, a person who is intellectually developed enough to know the difference between right and wrong, to the point where he takes it to heart and it motivates his feelings, he cares about it. Okay, so that person is responsible for his actions and is obligated to do the mitzvahs. Adam, on the other hand, represents a higher level of intellect. Adam represents intellect in the abstract. It's an abstract concept, has nothing to do with motivating one's emotions. And the question is, the Rebbe asks, why? I mean, it seems like we already understand from that verse I described, using the word ish, that a 13-year-old is obligated in the mitzvahs because he understands the difference between right and wrong. What did the Chabad Rebbeim mean to introduce, mean to teach us, mean to add to that when they specifically used the term Adam in connection with the bar mitzvah by reciting this discourse at bar mitzvahs? Adam is different from ish, and what extra does it contribute? The answer lies in the fact that there are actually two sources for the proposition that a 13-year-old is obligated in the mitzvahs. The first is the one we just described, linking the two biblical terms, the two verses that use the term ish. But the second opinion, the opinion of the Rosh, one of the Talmudic commentaries and some others, is that it has nothing to do with verses. It has nothing to do with the idea of intellectual development. It's a halacha l'Moshe Sinai. It's the will of God, which God taught Moses on Mount Sinai, and he passed it on generation to generation. This is a tradition we have from Mount Sinai. So according to that opinion, a 13-year-old is obligated in the mitzvahs simply because that's the will of God. God wants it to be at 13 for no other reason, nothing to do with intellectual development. And the truth is that this doesn't contradict the first. Well, before I tell you why it doesn't contradict the first, I want to tell you the practical implication of that. Because if, according to the first explanation, that we understand the obligation for mitzvahs from the word ish, which implies intellectual understanding, then a person's approach when they become 13 and they undertake to do the mitzvahs, a person's attitude towards that should arise from intellectual understanding of right and wrong, as we said. But on the other hand, if the reason why a 13-year-old is obligated in mitzvahs is because it's God's will and it has nothing to do with intellect, then his approach should be, I'm doing the mitzvahs for no other reason than that it's God's will. It doesn't matter if I understand it or not. It doesn't matter if I take it to heart, if it motivates me, if I want to do it. This is God's will, and I'm going to accept it because it's beyond me. Even, it's what we call in Hebrew, Kabbalah soil, accepting the will of God, unconditionally. But the fact is, wherever it goes on, these two things don't contradict one another.
Okay. I want to wish Yosef Massoud, his parents, his grandparents, great-grandmothers, Mazel Tov, which have a lot of nachas from him. Tonight is the last night of Hanukkah. What does Yosef take from Hanukkah is what is good for the first day of Hanukkah, you always have to add. So Yosef, you should never be satisfied what you accomplish. You always have to look for something higher and more and more. When it comes Hanukkah, the first night you light one candle, the second night is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now you're going to ask, what are we going to do tomorrow? You're not going to light any Hanukkah candles. But tomorrow we have to take the power of Hanukkah and bring it down into our daily life and natural way of life. And remember that we always have to add in goodness and kindness in our learning. And Eibishter should bless you, that you should be a Chosidei Shemayim, a Lamdan. Amen. Chayal, Sheteres Chayal, in the Rebbe's army, and we should be merit to see the third Beis Hamikdash and lighting the menorah in the third Beis Hamikdash. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to, just to give you a preview, because the hour is getting late, we're going to have the Bar Mitzvah boy share a beautiful speech. I don't want to risk putting that off. And then we're going to share a beautiful slideshow of Yosef's childhood, but also a beautiful skit that my wife put together, directed. Once again, I want to acknowledge and thank Varleah for all of her hard work and dedication. And you'll see it very soon in the slideshow. I want to call upon my son, the Bacher of Bar Mitzvah, and maybe I'll have time for a few words later. But I just want to say, Yosef, you blew us all away, really, with your confidence, with your dedication. You know, at least I'll say one short word of introduction. It says in the Torah that Bahalotcha et hanerot, when you light the candles, literally the words in the Torah, Bahalotcha, doesn't mean when you light the candles. It means when you raise up candles. So our rabbis question, 1 second, you don't raise up candles, you take a match and you light a candle. Why does the Torah, which is very exact in the terminology, say when you raise up candles? Says our commentator Rashi, you should raise up the candles, meaning you should stand there with your match and don't just put it there and walk away. You should hold the match there until the candle can rise up on its own and burn with its own intensity, with its own heat. And Yosef, really, Mami and I are very proud of you because, yes, we're like your matches over here, your parents, that we gave you these 13 years and all the Bar Mitzvah learning. But really, this morning, I saw that you're a candle standing on your own. Because a lot of times the Bar Mitzvah boys, you know, the rabbi tells a joke. There was a rabbi and a priest that they met, and the priest was saying, we have a big problem in the church, that all of the mice are overrunning the church. We tried this exterminator, that exterminator, and nothing works. So the rabbi said, oh, we don't have a mice problem in the synagogue anymore. Because why? As well, very simple. I went into the synagogue, I banged I said, all the mice come here. I gave them bar mitzvah lessons. I bar mitzvah them. They ran away. They never came back. So many bar mitzvah boys think the bar mitzvah is, okay, that's the culmination. That's it. Grand finale. Bye-bye, Charlie. Not coming back. But Yosef Massoud, last night, after a whole Shabbat, I see him sitting down with a book. I said, Yosef, what are you doing? Your bar mitzvah's tomorrow. Tells me, oh, I don't want to just read the Torah for my bar mitzvah. I want to read the Torah in shul tomorrow. I said, no, you go to sleep. He says, no, I'm serious. Okay, Yosef, I can't help you. I got to go to sleep. I went to sleep. In the morning, I wake up in the morning. Yosef says, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to read the Torah. And sure enough, as you'll see in the slideshow today, he read the Torah this morning in Rabbi Alulian's shul in the Gem Center. And I realized, Yosef, that you take it so seriously that you're ready to stand on your own, and we're very proud of you and wish you to continue going to be a Chassid Yerushalayim, Yirei Shamayim, and a Lamdin for many years to come. Give your attention to Yosef for a few brief words.
First of all, welcome. Welcome everyone for coming. Thank you for coming out tonight, for sharing this day of my bar mitzvah and being here. I want to thank my dear grandparents, Dr. and Rabbi Wagshul, for coming all the way from New York, and my grandmother, Grandma Eileen, for coming also from New Jersey, and my cousin Ethelman and Aku, who they all came all the way from the East Coast. Zini, thank you so much for helping me with my truck and teaching me how to lane with all the dictic rules. Grandma Eileen, there's no one like you. Baruch Hashem, you have so many grandchildren and great-grandchildren, but yet you never forget to call us for our birthdays every single week, always FaceTiming us. And even giving us birthday gifts. Ethelmina, thank you for giving us your room when I came for my Nachas Tefillin and during Chidah. I'm so happy that you came from all the way from New York. Thanks to my dear grandfather, Rabbi Alulian, for always testing me on all the stuff I learned, and for Tiny Mishnasal Pen and inspiring me to learn. Thanks to my Rabbi Alulian for always being there and taking me on surprises and before we go to school, she used to always just take us to a restaurant and she would go, don't worry, I'll take you, get whatever you want. Thanks to my great-grandmothers, Mama Helen Alulian and Mama Pari, who always give me a lot of attention, love, and who constantly give me presents and remind me how dear I am to them, making them great grandparents. I also like to take this special moment to remember a few people. I want to remember my great-grandfather, Rabbi Nachman Ben Lipa, who actually was lucky enough to see whenever we came to New York and New Jersey. And I was very happy to learn. He always used to teach me to love Torah and learn Torah, and he'd always, whenever I came to his house, he'd always go, don't forget to learn and stuff like that. So I want to remember him. I also want to remember my great-grandfather Yaakov Ben Binyamin Amin Zadeh, who I was lucky to be close to in Los Angeles, who influenced me with his cheerful spirit and enthusiasm for life and love of his family. I would also like to remember my great-grandmother, Etkabas Avram Wilkoff, who I got to visit when we went to New York, and she would always have a smile, even when she was sick or something, or whenever something was not happening good. And that taught us a lot of lessons. It taught us that even when something is not good, you should always be happy, and you should never be sad, even if something horrible in your life happens. Last but not least, I would like to remember Massoud Ben Aga John, a lawyer who I'm named after, and I heard many stories about how great he was. I'd also like to say that I'm very happy that my buddy came, and also that they shared their room and Buddy made a delicious food and everything whenever we came to your house. Buddy Wagshul, thank you so much. Thank you to my special and hardworking parents for doing everything for me. My father, thank you. you for raising me how to be a good boy and always teaching me how to learn and doing my parasha in line with me. I know it was very hard for you to keep me up. And also, I was very thankful that you took me to New York for my first time to put on tefillin. I would also like to tell you one more thing. I know you're very happy that you're finally done with my bar mitzvah, but you have a bar mitzvah in 2 years. And last but not least, before I stop thanking you, I know you're so happy to say Wagshul Matrani, you still have to take care of me. Thank you to my dear mother who's been working and doing all this beautiful stuff. When I walked in here, I was amazed to see how beautiful it looked in. I was like, whoa, this is my simcha? I was amazed. Thank you for doing all this stuff, and I know you were working so hard since my Shemish. Hey, Mommy, if you think you're relieved from doing all this stuff, well, you have an Shea event, and you also have Shem's Bas Mitzvah. And also, thank you for the countless hours of devotion and love that you took care to take care of us and making us dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and doing everything for us. And thank you for taking me dates in middle school. I hope none of my teachers are here right now to know this. Shella, if you're busy right now playing with the Kamina or reading, I just want to tell you, even if you're not here right now, that I still enjoy when you always play with us. Reminder, no taking double donuts. Thank you to my teachers in Cheder Menachem for inspiring me and guiding me in my life and character. Thank you to my principal, Rabbi Greenberg, my beloved, and my teachers. Rabbi Glick, Rabbi Chaim, and all of my teachers throughout my elementary years who helped me raise as a child. Thank you for my aunts and uncles on both sides, who are always here for me, and all my cousins. There's so much to be fun around. Thank you to Rabbi Rella for helping my parents arrange the details of my mitzvah and having such a great show for my students and I to come and help my fathers run the programs. Thank you to Rabbi Reichik for being there as a pillar of support of our family, despite how busy you are. In the community, you took time to advise my parents on the chidduch and every detail of my bar mitzvah preparations. Thank you. What does a bar mitzvah boy, a major league baseball player, and Hanukkah have in common? To answer this question, I have to tell you a story. In 1955, a young American boy, a chassid, named Reb Shimshon Stalk of Lesameli, introduced a friend of his and his son, soon to be bar mitzvah, to Lubavitch Rebbe. The Lubavitch Rebbe gave the boy a blessing and asked him, "Do you follow baseball?" And the boy goes, "Yes." The Rebbe asked him, "Well, did you go to a game before?" And he goes, "Yes, I actually just went to one a few months ago." The Rebbe asked him, "Was it a good game or a bad game?" He said, "Well, actually, I was rooting for the Dodgers, and the Dodgers were losing by 6 points, and it was already in the 6th inning. We had no chance, so he left." The Rebbe asked, "Did the players leave?" The player just quit and leave. "You know what? Who cares? Bye." He answered, "No, the players cannot leave." And he asked, "Why?" The Rebbe replied, "The players of the stadium went to the very end. This is the lesson I want to teach you for bar mitzvah," the Rebbe said. "A Jew can be a fan or a player. You should be a player," the Rebbe said. The Tanya teaches us that a Jew is hard like a battle between the Yetzer Hara and Yetzer Tov. But when you're younger than bar mitzvah, it's a fake thing, it's just a practice. Once you're bar mitzvah, it's the real battle. So that's why what the Rebbe is saying is that you should never give up and you should always learn. With this in mind, we can answer the question. A bar mitzvah boy is like a major league player in a real life arena of the Jewish people's historic mission to fill the world with the knowledge of Hashem and banish the forces of the evil and try to take down every generation. As the Sefer Tanya teaches us, at 13, the godly soul becomes fully revealed in a person as they become mentally mature. And this new godly inspiration, the power of 13, becomes responsible for performing mitzvahs. This is also the mitzvah of Hanukkah. The holiday celebrates the magnanimity of the Jewish forces and the good against bad. To the Syrian Greek oppressors who would not allow them to serve Hashem and keep his mitzvahs. The Maccabees were certainly not bystanders and they took a stand for what was right. And Hashem came to their aid. When we celebrate bar mitzvah, We are really celebrating a new player on the team who can add another point. This is the message of the 8th day of Hanukkah for the answer. Each day of Hanukkah we add one small candle against the dark night, but we do not stop. We keep adding and not being satisfied with the achievements of yesterday. Even if yesterday we did our best we can, today we can do even better. Yesterday I learned 5 Mishnahs, today I'm learning 6. Today, on the 8th night of Hanukkah, the Menorah is full of 8 blazing lights that can overpower physical and spiritual darkness. A 13-year-old may be small, but he can shine a little bit of light. The Torah mitzvahs that can have reaching effects. This is also the message of the Torah reading I read yesterday. Pari had a dream which he was standing by the riverbank watching 7 skinny cows getting consumed by 7 fat cows. Yosef interpreted his dream and was given which him and his brothers were in the field working. What is one thing in Yosef's dream? He was doing something productive by working. In Pari's dream, he was doing nothing productive. He was just watching. A Jew must always be growing and working, improving, and not constantly watching like Pari. 2 short months ago, my father took me to New York to put on my tefillin for the first time to show the Rebbe at 770 Eastern Parkway. He taught me to put on tefillin on my arm, pointed at my heart, on my head. This is how a Jew prepares for his day, by uniting the heart and the mind towards knowing and connecting with Hashem's heart and mind with Hashem and making the right decisions based on the Torah's guidance. With this strength, you can go and add later Torah mitzvahs to regular day-to-day activities. Tonight is Eis Hanukkah, the day we see the menorah at its fullest power. The flames are given a powerful message. We can always increase by anywhere in the world. What is good for yesterday is not good for today. If you could do me a favor, not about mitzvah, please do an additional mitzvah in honor of our mitzvah and add light. The pasuk says, "Ki ner mitzvah Torah ar." A mitzvah is like a candle, and Torah is like light. Perhaps you can add light by helping a worthy second cause, or learning some extra Torah, or being next to someone, or teach Torah. If it's a mitzvah you don't yet do, like if you don't put on tefillin yet, or you don't light Shabbos candles, in honor of Hanukkah and light, you should do that. And if you do not light Hanukkah candles tonight, you still have a chance to, so please do. May Hashem see all our efforts to add light and reveal the ultimate light of the true and complete redemption of Mashiach now.
לכל זמן ועת, לכל זמן ועת, את לאהוב, את לשנוא, את מלחמה, ועת שלום. לכל זמן ועת, לכל זמן ועת.